Hey B, how are you? Let's see if I can fix this, get this little closer. Hey, how y'all doing tonight? Hey B, send an invite. I'll invite you in. Oh, what happened? You still there, B? Yeah, I was gonna talk about yeah, the pendant here that I love wearing. It's the Tree of Life. I wonder why it won't let you join. I saw you on there. It said invite, and I clicked OK. Okay, I invited. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm inviting, but it's not. It doesn't seem to be working. All right. All right, B. You have a good dinner. Jocelyn, did it work for you? I invited you. Well, the talk I'm giving tonight is going to be on this pendant, the Tree of Life. I don't know how good you can actually see it. It's a very interesting symbol, and I want to talk about it because it comes normally has a pendant or a brooch, um, and you can see it. It had it features the pentagram within the circle, and is flaked by the crescent moons. So it's flaked by the crescent moons and surrounded by a decorative design, which we believe may be supposedly and possibly it's a Celtic design, and this is the tree of life that surrounds it. So I'm gonna break the symbol down for you and show it again. It's not very clear. The light's kind of glaring on it. But the triple moon is the three crescent moons on it are the representation of the waxing, the full, and the waning phases of the moon. And the symbology of this is that it is symbolizing the maiden mother and the crone. Now, by it symbolizing the maiden mother and crone, we're looking at the aspects of the triple goddess. And this signifies nature's cycle, the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And it's important to know also that the triple moon also signifies the different stages of womanhood. So it's very important to realize that in this pendant, the Tree of Life pendant, it's signifying the different stages of womanhood, the triple goddess, and the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. and the nature of the cycle of life. Now, the pentagram, a lot of us know about the pentagram. A lot of us have studied it. A lot of us have seen it. We know it's the five-pointed star within a circle. And it has a long history. It has very different interpretations of it. Modern paganism, of course, it represents the fire element, the elements: fire, earth, air, water, and the spirit. So, in today's paganism, it's going to represent the five elements. It is also the interconnectedness of all things. So, the pentagram here in this pendant, along with the tree of life and the crescent moons, is interconnecting us all together on this earth, of all things on this earth. Now, the tree of life, which is the decorative design of it, the decorative design of the symbol surrounding the moon and pentagram, is the tree of life. And the tree of life on this is very the decoration of it is very unique. It has interwoven branches and knotwork on it. And I don't know, I've always been at all of the design. I don't know, to me, the way this design is and how we wear it and everything and what it stands for is very powerful. But not only that, the tree of life symbolizes that, represents the earth, the earthly and the spiritual realm. Not just the earthly and spiritual realm, but also represents our growth, our strength, and the connection of our roots. And me and my cousin B, we talked about that quite a bit. The connection of our roots. Where do we come from? What is our ancestry? When you understand your ancestry, where you understand where you come from, and you gain more knowledge of it, then you're able to interpret your life a little better. You're able to interpret why things are the way they are, why you are the way you are. You're able to interpret what strengths you have, what weaknesses you might have. So the tree of life is very important. It's a very important symbol to us, because not only does it ground us with our ancestry and to our roots and to the triple goddess and to the life cycle, but it interconnects all of us and all things together. We are all interconnected here on this earth. One way or another, we're all interconnected. One way or another, we are here to help each other. So that's the symbol is very powerful. It's a very powerful emblem of it. This emblem also embodies the divine feminine. Women are very strong. Women have always been very strong. I don't know about you, but I'm a male. I can't give birth. I can't have life out of me. So the divine feminine is a very strong. The goddesses are very strong. They are not to be reckoned with. The cycle of nature is life, and interconnectedness of all things is so important to us. Life is so important to us. We all want life. We all want to live. We all want to be able to understand where we're at, where we're going, what path should we take. So this is very important. I mean, the tree of life pendant is so strong. Like, I can't even explain it. I wear it proudly around my neck. It's a very strong figure for me, especially since I turn to Hecate quite a bit. I turn to Lilith quite a bit when I need something or need anything. But if we look at today, with this symbol in the pagan and Wiccan practices of today. It's a common symbol. You see it just about anywhere and everywhere. Yes, Brian, Charmin Farland, I love Hecate. And it is worn as a pendant, or it may be used in rituals and ceremonies. That's how strong of an emblem this is. That's how strong of an embodiment that this divine feminine has, the tree of life has, that we can use it in our rituals, in our ceremonies, where it has a pendant to show us our ways and where we're going. So I wanted to touch on that and talk about that. I'm very big on. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Appreciate it. I'm very big on the symbols and things like this, because so many people look at them. They look at them and they see a symbol that you may be wearing, and just from what they're told about it, they make judgments without understanding it. So it's very important, especially in the paranormal world, and the spiritual world. Very important to understand symbols. It's very important to understand. Yeah, well, thank you for the little crown, Brian. Appreciate it. It's very important to understand all this, because you can't just look at a symbol and assume you know if you don't really have the full understanding of it, the power of it. It's just, that goes along with crystals. So many crystals out there, and people will get them because they're so beautiful or they're so pretty, without understanding what they're actually holding, without understanding the empowerment of it, without understanding what they could do with it. They could heal with it. You could do many things with it. So it's important to understand this stuff. It's important to understand what you're working with and what you're wearing as far as pendants and protection goes. Now, this other subject I want to hit on is very close to me. It's on Baphomet, who I don't have my statue in the office with me right now. I wish I would have brought him up so I could show it. But I think we all know who Baphomet is. It's the human with the goat head, goat feet, wing figure. But it's important to know the history of Baphomet. Baphomet was actually created by the Christian Church. The first mention of Baphomet comes from 1098, and this was in a written letter describing the siege of Antioch during the First Crusade. Okay, so if you know Baphomet and you understand Baphomet, I'm going to tell you right now, if you think Baphomet was always a deity, always was part of the Satanic Church, the occult, no. He was not any of that until later on down the road. Okay. Now this guy, Anselm of Ribaumont, when he wrote this letter during the First Crusade, he said, "The Turks called loudly unto Baphomet." Well, here's the problem with that. Many scholars believe that he misunderstood them, and that Baphomet is an alteration of the word Muhammad. And Muhammad is another version or spelling variation of Muhammad, who found Islam. So Baphomet King may be from the confusion of Muhammad and him thinking they're yelling Baphomet, which is something to think about. But then we don't hear of Baphomet again until 1307, during the time of King Philip IV, when he unjustly accused the Knights Templar and arrested them, accusing them of heretical idol worship. And it's interesting how he describes the idol. he described the idol as a bearded male head called Baphomet. The church and King Philip gave Baphomet the name. So Baphomet derives automatically evil from the church itself. And even by the 19th century, the Freemasons, which we know derived from the Knights Templar, were also accused of this by the church. And they tried to shut down the Freemasons. So that's important to remember, that the church was using this so-called figure that in reality they made up and came up with to use as false accusations to get what they wanted. Now, we don't see a full version of the full image of Baphomet. That didn't come until 1854. So if you're following the history here, it's a long period of time in between where Baphomet is mentioned, not mentioned, mentioned again, not mentioned. But up to this point, until 1854, it was always mentioned by the church. And in 1854, Eliphas Levi made a cover and the image of Baphomet for his book cover. I'm going to try to pronounce this book cover. Please forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. It's the Dogme et Ritual de la Haute Magie. It's the Doctrine and Ritual of High Magic. And this was written from 1854 to 1856. And the image is the Sabbatic goat, a hermaphroditic winged figure with head and feet of a goat. And we know Baphomet is the head of goat, feet of a goat, winged figure with the pentagram right here on the forehead. But then we lose him again until the early 1900s, with Aleister Crowley adopting the image of Baphomet into his Gnostic Mass. He adopted him into his occult order, his occult practice, and religious system. Now, because he adopted him into the occult, this is the only reason I can stand by, and you may have other reasons why, and I would love to hear them. But this reason of him adopting him into the occult order, practices, and religious system of the occult, this solidified the symbol to be associated with the occult and Satanism. So, up until the early 1900s, Baphomet was not in any way a symbol of the occult or Satanism. He was just a symbol that started from the church, described him as a man with the head of a man with a beard, to 1854 when Eliphas Levi took that little image, turned it into another image, and for the cover of his book. And then in the 1900s we had Aleister Crowley adopt him into the occult. So, Baphomet's history comes a long way to get to where he's at today, to where we know of him today, to what we've seen of him today. That's why it's very important when you're looking at these figures, these idols, to look at the history of them, to study them, to understand them, and see where they actually originated from, where they came from. The better understanding you have of them, the better understanding you have of knowing how to work with them, knowing where you're going with them, knowing what they are expecting of us and what we expect of them. Now, it wasn't until more recent years, and we're going all the way to 2015 now, and this is when the Satanic Temple commissioned the statue of Baphomet. And they unveiled it in 2015. So they commissioned it, before 2015. but they unveiled it in 2015. Oh, thank you for the lightning bolt, and thank you for the hand heart. So, and what they did with the statue was they did a protest. And the protest was they moved it around to public spaces where they publicly had the Ten Commandments hanging. Now, it wasn't to say they were against Christianity. It wasn't to say that the Ten Commandments shouldn't have been there. What it was to say is, we are here. This country is a country of freedom of religion. Because if you look at our founding fathers, we had Christian, we had agnostics, we had atheists, we had pagans, rooted in paganism for our founding fathers. And they all agreed, as one, for the country to be freedom of religion. So it's important to understand that. It's important to know that, and that's where we're going with it. But just remember, Baphomet was in fact created by the Catholic Christian Church, and he was originally created just to be used as a false idol, an idol to falsely accuse the organizations of the Knights Templar and then the Freemasons and so on. But it's important to understand Baphomet too, of what he is. Yes, he's half man, half animal. He's also divine feminine and male masculinity. He's good and evil. He is a balance. And to me, that's important. The balance. Where's the balance in our lives? Where are we at in our lives to hold that balance? Where are we at? Are we being all that we should be? Are we letting ourselves be expressed enough to be free? Or are we laying back, listening to what other people are saying and not fully showing who we are? Baphomet is a figure. He is a leader of freedom. He will, he's a path. He's a path that we could follow, a path of light. He will take us, to where you want to go. If you want to work with him, work with him. I work with Baphomet. I have him on my altar. He is very good. He is very good to me. He's very great. I feel a balance in my life. I feel, there is good, there is evil. And for a long time, I struggled between good and evil. I lean more towards the darkness. Always have, always did. But I have learned over the years to let more of the light come through. And that to me is what Baphomet is. Baphomet's not evil. Baphomet's not some evil deity like the church proclaims him to be. When the Satanic Temple took him in, that was to show balance, love, light. And for all of you that might have your ideas of what the Satanic Temple really is and truly is, I would say research it. Look into it for yourselves. They're not what you hear on media and news medias and the church and everything else. I know quite a few people that are members of it, and they are the nicest, most friendliest people that you could meet. And they have a lot of respect for other religions. They respect other people. So that is where Baphomet is. To respect one another, show love and kindness to one another, keep a balance in your life, try to work with each other. And in so, we as a human race can move forward. We as a human race can better ourselves and better the life that we're living and others are living. And I just want to touch on that today. Because I felt called to do it. I was actually just going to work on the symbol tonight. And after I finished writing my notes and everything on the symbol of the Tree of Life, so I got a message from someone asking me about Baphomet. That was, and I'm going to say it, I believe that was Mother Lilith and Mother Hecate talking to me, saying, no, talk about this tonight. It is very close to me. Baphomet is very dear to me. And if I missed anything on him, if I didn't get everything, if there's more input somebody can give on him to me, I'm always ready to learn because we can always learn more. We don't know everything. And, but I want to thank everybody for joining my live and for supporting me and my channel. Please, if you can, follow my my YouTube at Demon Hunter Paranormal as well. I will be having my wonderful cousin Brian help me edit the videos before posting them. And once they're posted, they'll be up on my Instagram. I'm going to try to get them over here onto TikTok, and they'll be up on my YouTube as well as Facebook. All right. Well, I want to say thank you all for joining the talk tonight, and thank you for the support. And blessed be. Have a wonderful night.